I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to Smack It Raw.
Following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the host are not necessarily those of the host. Listener discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of Smackin It Raw in 2025, the only wrestling podcast formerly on Pornhub. I am your host, the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Mad Ritter, and I'm here with my co-hosts this evening. One is going to be a surprise for many of you tuning in. It was announced that Lord Cussalot Travis Pointer, a.k.a. the Dragon King, a.k.a. Big T, a.k.a. Sweet T, a.k.a. T-Money, a.k.a. Black Merlin, a.k.a. the HNIC,
What's that?
would be returning for this very special episode. It, however, was not announced or even known to me until about noon today, roughly, that we would also be joined by King Reek, House of Havoc, first of his name, or better known here by you Smackin It Raw fans and listeners, Dr. Reek Baker, BBC.
I accept it. What's good, y'all?
What's happening, Reek?
So, it is a new era for Raw on Netflix for the WWE, and it is only fitting that it is a new era for Smackin It Raw as well, ladies and gentlemen. For a very long time, we have been a once-a-week recap show for the week in wrestling. We have evolved with the times. We added AEW. We, moved for PLEs. We've done all of these things. And now, once again, we are evolving with the times. I no longer enjoy the majority of what I see on AEW. So while I may still continue to watch it, we are not going to continue to cover it here on Smackin It Raw. What you will be getting,
Because it's
however,
trash,
is a post-show for WWE Raw that is now officially RawFlix every Monday. So come RawFlix and chill with us tonight and every Monday. Tomorrow night, our first episode of NXXXT for New Year's Evil. And on Friday, you are going to Smack It Raw or Smack It Down with Smackin It Raw. So you guys can join us every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday after the shows air for a post show. That's what we're here to do today. That's what my guest hosts are here for. How's it going, Tommy? Now, before we get into what happened today, I have a couple things that Travis would like me to plug. First and foremost, twitch.tv/Creation World. If you're watching us live now, you might be watching us over there. And guess what? It is 100% up to you if you have Amazon Prime to link your Prime Gaming account to your Twitch account and get that free sub every month and then do the right thing and give it to us over here at Creation World. But it could be your favorite Twitch streamers. I'm sorry, I had a burp there. Katie from the She League Showcase. She streams on Twitch. You can check her out. We love Katie. She is my other co-host. She will be back tomorrow night. Or our good friend Will Gray and everyone over at Rivet City Radio, or any of your favorite Twitch streamers. But don't let that free sub go to waste. Make sure you use it and you give it to somebody that you enjoy so that they can continue to help making content. That's the Twitch one. Now for the fun one. Reek, you know how we do this.
And there might be another one of us that joined Twitch doing some streaming in 2025.
Oh, soon.
Potentially.
You guys can also follow us at youtube.com/Creation World, where it is free to like, to subscribe, to comment. Reek, what does that do?
It boosts the algorithm and helps find new listeners.
And why is that important, ladies and gentlemen?
Because you are a whore
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. I am a whore for your likes, for your comments, for your views, for your attention and entertainment. That is why we do what we do here at Creation World every week. So please go subscribe, like, comment, boost that algorithm. Let us find new listeners. Let us find new viewers. Get me exposed to as many people as possible. Treat me like the whore that I am. And while doing so, I need you to flick that bean. That's right, that notification bell up top there. Hit that. Get notified every time we go live, whether it is every Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 Eastern, for the Creation Conversation. Getting off whenever we have it. Sometimes it's Friday, sometimes it's Sunday. Now it's definitely going to depend on the schedule and what's going on with wrestling, but roughly every other week we will let you know. Our next one is actually tentatively January 24th, so you can check us out there, but that will always be on a Friday, about 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern. Smackin' It Raw, we already covered that. Monday, 15 minutes after Raw. Tuesday, 15 minutes after NXT. And Fridays, 15 minutes after Smackdown. You can tune in and catch your post shows for this show, Smackin' It Raw. Okay, all that's out of the way. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get into the show. We opened up, right?
We going in order?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Okay. So we opened up with Triple H narrating a jerk-off instructional video right before dropping the ring panties for the big reveal of the logo-filled ring and him and his pyro just blowing loads all over the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Give me all that money is what they said. Put your logo on the ring apron now. Pay me.
It was just giving me the boxing vibe, but I mean,
boxing, UFC,
checks and balances. That's really
bring the money in, man. I get it.
I ain't mad at him.
This whole episode of Raw felt like that to me. Bring the money in. Like that's what this all felt like to me.
Yeah.
Found myself a little, I wouldn't say disappointed because I kind of knew what it was going to be, but I still wanted more. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're going to talk about that. Actually, we'll talk about a little bit of that right now because our first segment was dessert before dinner because the man with the strudel strutted his way to the ring to electrify the crowd, to acknowledge Netflix and Cody Rhodes and the Samoan fuckfest that he said was going to be later tonight, but was actually immediately after his promo, where he said he would be watching. Is theoretically. And this is where I was disappointed, right? Because we got the Solo versus Roman Samoan fuckfest, tribal combat. Reek and I have talked about how you call it tribal combat, but there's no tribal aesthetic.
Yeah. Don't
really like that it's just a street fight and you're giving it a stupid name.
It's just a no DQ match.
Right. Like put 100 of them niggas around the ring and make it a something. A lumberjack. Like, come on.
Have your tribes out there. You know, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's it.
Which, I mean, even at this point, they said, you leave your tribe at home and I'll leave my tribe at home, which obviously did not happen because we had Tama Tonga, we had Jacob Fatu, we had Jimmy Uso, we had Sami Zayn, we had The Rock at the end, and that's where my disappointment came in because The Rock strolled out there as the Fupa Waffle was getting put on Roman Reigns to do it himself, and I was like, okay, this is where we're going to get the reveal that everything Solo was doing was really The Rock. This is where The Rock is going to attack and set up for that match at WrestleMania. We're going to get started right here. And then he laid Roman Reigns after his win and then stood there and did jack shit.
I mean, again, I didn't expect him to really advance any stories tonight anyway. You know, so I kind of got what I expected to get from this. I expected the match itself to be better, but
I didn't really because I knew it was gonna be tribal combat. I knew we were gonna get all the interference. I knew it was gonna be a lot of chairs and tables and kendo sticks and bullshit. I do want to bring up, because this is the first instance of something that I saw a lot tonight. Can we stop calling finisher moves finishers, because they don't fucking finish a match ever? I don't think there was one person that hit their finisher that didn't get kicked out of tonight.
That's actually something that's in my notes, like, and it aggravated the shit out of me. Not in this match, but yeah, it's definitely a problem. But I don't like how they pump faked what I thought was going to happen, which was because, you know, Solo said he going to put the Ula follow on the winner and you going to be their wise man. I'm thinking, okay, if Rock is here, he going to be the one walking away with Paul Heyman.
I thought Paul was going to put it on him too. I was like, okay, but nothing.
Yeah. Again, I hope for that, but I didn't expect that. It's
terrible.
Which is why, like I said, I wasn't disappointed, but I wanted more.
Well,
and that kind of was the theme for the whole night, was just a whole lot of shit like that to me.
Solo versus Roman, spit or swallow.
I'll gargle it.
Yeah. Like it's not bad enough that I'll spit it, but it's like you said, like it left too much to be desired. On top of, again, the stipulation. I don't let this be the last tribal combat with no tribe or no real combat involved. That's just where I'm at.
They said it was the last tribal combat match. That was the second one against Jay, right? Not the Hell in a Cell match that they're talking about. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess.
And it's like, I don't know why
that first one in the Hell in a Cell felt more like tribal combat to me than the second
Thank you.
one.
It's like, why we can't just do some combination of that? Just meld a bunch of stipulations together and make it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that felt more like it than anything else.
Remake the Punjabi prison and make it like a tribal prison or some shit. Don't use bamboo though, because that was trash. Do something else, but like same, you know, same idea.
Give us the elements of the Inferno match. Like I've seen things, you know, there's fire and everything. Every time someone, you know, slams, like fire bursts up from the ring, but something. Give us something more than just a street fight that is just another street fight with a different name. You know, like
put the lights up from the Texas Bull Rope match. Surround the ring with any Samoans from the family, and then tie them. No. And then you tie them together like the strap match. You tie their hands together. There you go. That's all. That's all.
Do something.
Fupuwapa, or yeah, I fucked it up. Anyway, Ulafala on a pole match. Can we really, like, I feel like hanging those Red Hot Chili Peppers up on a pole, when they go to grab them, that thing's just going to break and fall to pieces. That does not look sturdy. I think
she just wants to see Roman Reigns on a pole. So,
yeah.
I mean, who doesn't?
You know, it's understandable.
You know who she does want to, well, I don't know if she wants to see him on a pole, but who Katie was most happy to see tonight?
Who was she most happy to see tonight?
John Cena. Who, listen, this man is the greatest, say absolutely nothing but take you on a fucking ride promo guy ever, because he just talked about everything and nothing and then came right back around to, I'm entering the Royal Rumble and I'm gonna fucking win. Like, never say never, even though my shirt says never give up, but in the WWE we never say never, and it'll never happen, or unless I win a Tony, and that's never going to happen, but never unless, oh, wait, if I enter the Royal Rumble, and then I do the math, and holy shit, we're going to win the Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania and become a 17-time world champion. Like, 5 minutes of that man rambling about absolutely nothing, but it was entertaining as fuck, and it got us where we needed to go.
Yeah, that was, I'm entering the Royal Rumble with so many extra steps. There were a lot of things that happened with extra steps this night. Like, we'll get to it in another match that happened, but there's things with just extra steps, and I'm like, you could have just done this, but okay.
Right.
Another thing about this night that, again, it didn't bother me or upset me, but I noticed it was just like the angles they were using. with the camera and whatnot.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, a lot of these make the ring look smaller, for one.
they do.
And two, why did you keep showing the side with all the empty seats? Like, so many empty seats over there, and they kept showing it.
The way I described it was like, it basically is the camera that they use in the video games. Like, you were getting that view like constantly, and it just panorama vision. Like, we didn't need to do all that. Y'all just pulled out every camera toy you had to use in this.
Well, also very weird just production in general, because even when like the 40 times that we cut to the crowd to see who was in the crowd in LA, like they kept showing people, and then Michael Cole did not have that person on his cue cards to talk about. It was somebody else.
Like Wale and it stayed on Michael J. Yeah.
Or
I'm like,
they showed Lyra, and then Michael was like, well, I guess Lyra's there, so we'll talk about it. And then they cut over to Dakota and Io, and they went back to Lyra, even though she was just on the screen, like weird shit like that all fucking night. So I don't know what that was about, because normally
they did that with LA Knight too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like they did the whole end around, like he was right in front of you, and you just went down to the War Raiders and then come circle back around. Like, yo.
Next up, we had what I thought, and I don't know, maybe I was on drugs at some point, but I swear to God that this was supposed to be a last woman erect match.
Yeah, and that's what we was talking about that yesterday. It's like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they just dropped the stipulation. Like, yeah, we're not doing that no more.
Exactly. I just
don't know what happened.
Rhea came out and she's like, I want to be the last woman with the hard nipples, or whatever the fuck she said. And I was all for it. I was like, yes, let's go. And then they come out and they just have a regular match. So Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley. We got a little bit. So like, it was supposed to be one at one point. Yes. Thank you, Katie. I don't like how they are acting like Freddie Guerrero and Liv Morgan are not honoring Eddie Guerrero, and that they're mocking Eddie Guerrero, when we all know that that's not what's going on.
They're mocking Ray.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, that's what's happening there. Like, they're purposely like over honoring Eddie to mock Rey Mysterio. Like, that's what's happening.
Yeah, this is a fuck you to Ray. This is not a fuck you to Eddie.
Y'all gotta understand. Y'all gotta understand how ops work.
Like, I'll say I don't watch every week anymore because I just don't have the time for it. But even me, who doesn't watch every week, knows what's happening there.
Rhea gets the win and her women's championship back, which I know Katie was happy about. But not only that, after taking the Three Amigos and a frog splash, she then just kind of pops up and decides she's going to bash Liv twice in a row with a riptide and then fold her like a pancake in basically the same position I got my wife pregnant with, to go on and win. And then Dom comes in, and Dom's like, mommy, dick kick, riptide, fuck you, Freddie Guerrero.
Yeah.
And this was where my issue with the finisher thing came in. I don't like Liv Morgan kicking out of the riptide, because I don't think that's a move that typically gets kicked out of much. And for it to be that too, it was garbage. But it's like, it's already been said ad nauseum how badly finishers are not being protected anymore. And hers was one that was pretty solid. So it's like, I don't care how much of a turnaround Liv has had as far as where she is standing wise. She shouldn't be kicking out of that move.
She's not kicking out of riptide status, though. I'll get you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she is not that. Like, if
Monday Night Raw, period. Not even like just because it's Monday Night Raw on Netflix, but Monday Night Raw is not the place that we need to be kicking out of finishes.
Well, they were trying to make this like mini WrestleMania for them because it's Netflix. And it was, so they wanted to have those epic moments to look back on and all that kind of shit, and it just didn't work. That's what that is.
And it's like, listen, Rhea can double tap all she wants to. Like, the feud kind of dictates that, especially if the stipulation is gone. There shouldn't have been that kick out moment. Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
I also think a big part of the issue here was the crowd too. But I can talk about the crowd another time. There's a couple of things the crowd did that I'm sure were good. There was a moment where I'm sure Matt was stroking it, but
no, he was not.
Really? Okay.
Oh, you haven't been around. I have. We'll talk. So, if Triple H and The Rock were, for wrestling fans, two in the pink, the man that I have denounced as my favorite wrestler that showed up at the end of this match to double down on his MAGA bullshit by playing the Kid Rock theme instead of the Limp Bizkit theme was the one in the stink of this shocker for me.
That wasn't the part that I thought you were stroking it at, but okay.
Oh, I assumed you thought it was the Undertaker.
No. We were talking about the crowd when I said you stroking it. I was talking about the way they were booing Hulk Hogan.
Right.
Oh yeah,
that's what I knew that part. But to be fair, he's used that a couple times now. I don't think we've heard Limp Bizkit in him. I think somehow Limp Bizkit's been like on the cancel list ever since Fred Durst flipped that bird at SummerSlam. So we might not be hearing it no more.
Which is fine, but I don't need the man who came out and did what he did and ruined my love for him after 30 plus years to also then be coming out to a man who performed in front of 5 people at a rally because nobody gives a fuck about him anymore. We don't need to double down. It's done. It's over. It is what it is. But we're going to skip ahead because Travis brought it up. Hulk Hogan did come out. He was there. We all knew he was there. And listen, WWE, this is not a red state.
What did we learn, Paul? What did we learn?
That state didn't vote for that bullshit and that man being on stage failing to rip his t-shirt at rallies. Like, that's not what they were here for. You brought maybe Alabama or like Florida would have been great. Like, there are a lot of places you could have brought him out at and he would have got cheered. LA was not one of those.
LA.
Not Cali.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro.
And I was so happy.
It's like,
I'm watching him out there like, dude, sit your old ass down somewhere, bro.
Thank you. I said
you see him barely able to walk out there, man.
Yeah, man. He looking starting that muscle definition starting to decline.
And I know it's wrong, but I could see the hurt in his eyes, and it made me hard to watch him suffer. Because he really believed, him and Jimmy were like, we're going to go out there and they're going to fucking love us. And as soon as those boos started, you just saw like it all just drain. And he struggled to get through, hey, I got the real American beer and you guys need to buy my beer and yay, Netflix. And okay, let's get the fuck out of here. They don't want me here anymore.
No,
you know, they didn't cut back to him backstage for hugs and cheers and good for you. No,
hell no. And that's why I feel like I don't think it really mattered where they would have went, because it's like there comes a point in time where you just like you tired of seeing your same act, especially when it's like you done ruined your reputation over the last decade plus. But on top of that, it's like, listen, you have nothing of value to add to us in this present day. Thanks for what you did. This is 2025.
Now we're done.
Home. It's done. So it's like it might have been a little less bad in a red state, but it's similar to it.
But honestly, what I was gonna say before was like this seemed like the pretty much the only part of the show the crowd really seemed like they were into. Like they were really into booing Hulk Hogan, and the rest of it was just kind of like we'll do a couple chants for a second, and then we're done.
Honestly, it was the highlight of my night because it was all kind of down. So, all right. I know it doesn't sound like we talked about a lot, ladies and gentlemen. I know it doesn't, but
not a lot
that first up until Roman won, that was the first hour of the show. Everything else was the second hour. We still got 2 more matches and a segment to talk about.
Correction, the crowd also chanted "fuck you" Solo, which was great. But
uncensored. Yeah. Thank you.
Netflix. Okay. Go ahead.
The Rock got censored when he said let's fucking go to Michael Cole, but then didn't get censored when he said shit in the ring. So 50-50. Real quick, Rhea lives, spit or swallow.
I'm gonna swallow with a caveat. Because if I swear for God, if they come out next week and they are interacting, having a promo together, anything, this is immediately going to the spit in the trash. because I don't want to see them together no more. I said it yesterday. We're done with this. So I will swallow with that in mind. I reserve the right to change it.
I don't want to, but I'm gonna spit it because at the end I just didn't care. Like when it all came down to when it was all said and done, the match was over. It's like, all right, well that's over. Nothing special here. I don't care. Yeah. All right.
Like if Liv had won, it's definitely a spit.
And it's like it's not like I didn't care about the match happening or about the feud or anything, but when it was all done, I didn't care what happened anymore. Like, so I spit it.
And like I said, they tried to make a cool moment, and it really, at least for me, maybe some of y'all out there enjoyed it, and it was a cool moment for you. And if it was, you can let us know. I don't really give a fuck. It was not a cool moment for me.
I mean, I noticed that she smiled when the gong hit, so she's definitely a real demon.
She was hyped. Yeah, no, she was happy, and I'm happy for her. Blonde She-Devil has defeated, and Rhea won. That's all that matters. Chad Gable is all like, I still hate the border and the people that cross it. So give me one of them, and I'm going to prove that I can beat them in my American flag jumpsuit. And they said, you said luchador. Now, Travis, are you watched a little bit of AEW. Do you remember Penta? Pentagon Jr., Penta El Zero Miedo?
The name sounds familiar, but
Lucha Bros.
Oh, one of them. Got you. Okay.
Yes. He's signed by WWE. They had a little thing for him, like you saw the zero with the slash through it, and then like the mask, and then his name.
Oh, that's who that was? Okay.
Yeah, it said Penta. So more than 99% sure Chad Gable versus Penta next week in Penta's debut.
So
that's gonna slap.
What you're saying is it's not Luchasaurus.
It's not Luchasaurus.
That's disappointing.
I think we about another year away though.
I don't know if I was burnt out or what, but it's all downhill for me. Like, it was cool that Jey Uso came out accompanied by Travis Scott, who was smoking weed, carrying the hardcore title that he was given by Triple H. But I didn't give a fuck about this match.
Me neither.
I thought he was supposed to perform. Like, that's why it got me so confused. Like, he's standing up there. I was like, okay, he's going to do like a quick song or two. And he's just standing there, like, just smoking that gas. I'm like, yo, what's going on here?
Luchasaurus has been having many health issues, so it won't be him for quite some time.
To be fair, people, I knew it wasn't going to be Luchasaurus. It's just, okay. I just, I enjoy Luchasaurus. That's all.
But yeah, so like Jey Uso versus Drew.
Yeah, didn't care. I know.
Spit.
Spit. I didn't care.
Honestly, I just in the middle of the match because it was like, I feel like it should have been a little more heated than it was, but nah.
I love Drew. I like Jay. Kate is not a fan of Jay's whole aesthetic, the bright colors, and she was like, "What the fuck is he wearing? What's wrong with him?" That was a whole different thing as she was watching. But like, Jay's cool. I like Drew. This seemed really thrown together real quick. It didn't seem very important, and it was just to blow up before the main event. Which again, maybe I was burnt out, but like I was not as into this match as the crowd was into this match. The crowd was really
into the match, or was the crowd just into Jay?
The next match, the match I'm about to talk about, the main event. Seth Rollins, CM Punk, main event. I don't know if I was burnt out, but I was not like. It was all right. It was cool.
I'll agree. I wasn't feeling it as much as it seemed like the crowd was. But maybe it just didn't come off as well on TV as it came across live.
It might not have. Because it was like it was all right. I was trying to get more into it, and it just, I don't know, it wasn't really happening.
I think it was a bad call making it the main event.
What would you have made the main event?
I would have closed it out with Tribal Combat.
Having that moment to close out the show with The Rock handing over
that makes more sense to me. And I would have opened the night with this match.
I figured it was going to be one or the other, but we can't have Phil missing out on another main event. We don't want more drama. Plus, I agree it should have been the main event, but I would have been disappointed if it was the main event and we didn't get that double cross from Rock.
I understand that, but it still would have been a better ending than what we got.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think Rock was on his best behavior because his daughter was in the crowd and everything like that. So he was being PC. You know, what I'm saying?
There, his mama was there, so he's like, "I'm a
right, yeah." Like he was putting on.
If I act up, my mama might slap the shit out of me, so I'm gonna be all right. I'm
right,
good right now, and I get it.
He did tell Cody to tell Cody's mom that he said hi, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm gonna give Seth versus CM Punk a swallow. It's something we've been waiting for. It wasn't as good as I had hoped it would be. It's probably not the last time they're gonna wrestle.
Oh,
it was what it was.
Of course not.
Yeah. So
this is going to send Seth into pure psycho mode, and I need
full spiral.
Yeah. I need him to be apoplectic.
This is the beginning, not the end. So,
yeah.
What about you guys? Spit or swallow? Main event.
I'll give it a swallow.
I'll swallow it. It wasn't a bad match. It's just
it wasn't a great match. It wasn't what I'd hoped for.
I'm not gonna spit. I'm not gonna spit for it not being great. You know.
Yeah. It was all right. You know what I'm saying? It's about what I expected, but it's just a start.
Raw's debut on Netflix, I think it was a lot of hype and fanfare and a lot of bullshit. And we'll really see what Raw on Netflix is going to be probably next week.
Yeah.
We get the women's IC tournament. We get, like I said, Chad versus the debuting Penta. We get all of that stuff next week.
This was a big
Gunther
commercial.
Next week. This was a big commercial for Netflix on Raw.
Yeah, more or less.
So
3-hour commercial.
Debut episode, spit or swallow?
Spit. I'm spitting it, and I'm saying that because I expected to be spitting it anyway. So I'm not upset.
I'm a gargle because it's like there was some shit I like, you know, but
what?
It's like substandard, you know what I mean? Like it's just like.
But what was it that you liked?
I mean, like the main event was good. The tribal combat, despite the stipulation, it was a decent match. Pat and Michael Cole on the, saying like you can't go wrong with that at any point in time.
Appreciate it.
Like it's like it wasn't terrible. It was just like, all right. It was. I gave it a passing grade. Like that's but reluctantly because I didn't want to. That's kind of what I felt about it.
Rick, that's called rape, man. Like
Travis. That's called assault.
My apologies.
Man.
That's called assault.
Thank you. So you put Terry, Magataker, and Logan Paul, which TC said something on your episode. Hold on. TC said something on your episode yesterday that I need to speak to real quick, right? He said that he has met a lot of women like Shotzi Blackheart in his lifetime that have annoyed him to where he just can't get behind her and he just doesn't like her because of that, right? Because he has dealt with too many people like that. That's how I feel about Matt Riddle, and that's how I feel about Logan Paul. I don't give a fuck how good Logan Paul is in the ring. I have met too many fucking Logan Pauls in my life to give two fucks about that man. He had no with his presence.
I went to high school. A bunch of them, I know.
Both those same feelings that he has about Shotzi. So you gave me Logan Paul, you gave me Hulk Hogan, and you gave me Magataker all in one night. That is a spit.
I mean, at least Logan wasn't really speaking to where we could hear him much.
No, we just had to watch an entire promo about how great he fucking thinks he is.
Nobody really cares, honestly.
I mean, it made Matt mad. He cares.
Look. I've been one for saying.
I wouldn't have cared if it wasn't 3 stacks of bullshit. All right.
I've been one for saying I have no emotion about either of the Paul brothers, but I hate Logan Paul because he's so damn good at wrestling. That is where the frustration and infuriation comes from. Because if he was trash, then I could just say, hey, Logan Paul's on TV, I can walk away, I can take a break. But then he goes and he has fire matches, so it's like,
yeah, I get it.
I gotta despise you now. It's bad.
I think that is it for our first episode of RawFlix and Chill. Thank you guys for chilling with us tonight. Reek, you first. Please tell everyone about the new Young Kings wrestling episode that dropped and the Havoc Hour and everything else you got going on.
Oh, yes, of course. So we just dropped latest episode, first of the new year. So you can go find everything at ykwrestling.com. All our content is there. Your merch, like what I got on right here. You can find all that on the website. You can find me at ReekHavoc24 on Instagram, Twitter, and I just got on TikTok. Also, the Havoc Hour, where TC and I talk sports and entertainment on all streaming platforms as well. Google Podcasts, Anchor, and the video versions are up on YouTube as well.
Allison, you may or may not have missed the alert. So I got led to believe that Raw was going to be possibly 3.5 hours. So just in case, I pushed the start time back to 10:45 instead of 10:15, so people weren't getting alerts early while the show was still going on and trying to come watch us, and we weren't live yet. So I bumped it back to be safe. So that might be why.
I think you still miss it because you'll still, if you got the notifications on, you'll still get the alert when we go live.
Yeah. So just so I did bump it back. That's on me. Travis, do your thing.
You can find me on all the socials, Lord_Cussalott. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT. Except on Blue Sky, there's no underscore. Also, every week, Creation Conversation, Matt mentioned it earlier, but also every week now, Fantasy Table Kids featuring me as your dungeon master playing Dungeons and Dragons with a group of great kids. It's a great time. Check it out. They're a hoot. They're good fun. They're hilarious, actually. Yeah, you should definitely check it out.
If you're into D&D and children-friendly content, go check that out. It is probably the only child-friendly show we have.
It is 100% the only child-friendly show that we have.
Agreed. Thank you. I wanted to watch Travis. I'm so sad. You can watch the replay. It'll be up in a second.
You can also watch me play Dungeons and Dragons, so you should do that.
That too. You guys can follow me at Smackin It Raw, TikTok, Threads, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Nowhere on X. Also, Smackin It Raw has its own Facebook group, and you guys can go there and join our Facebook group and avoid all of the negativity and toxicity and all of the things that you normally get in social media, in wrestling communities. Just share memes and talk about things that you like and laugh and have a good time and not deal with all the awful, awful parts of that. That's the community that we have cultivated there. So come join us. Check us out there. I think that's it for tonight, but we will be back tomorrow, 9:15 after NXT New Year's Eve. Come join me, Katie, and Vince for Lord Cussalott, Travis Pointer, and Wreak Havoc. I am the patron saint of podcasting, the Warden Mad Ritter. This has been your #1 wrestling podcast, formerly on Pornhub.